free kick, Wingeon Vale. This is how bad he was.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm not joking.
Just make sure you wipe that ass of yours and
If we used a bit of empathy on you, you might have been a better footballer.
Al, you're having a bad day, and you did turn around to me as I might be having a bad day, but you're having a worse day than me. Tell me where it is. You are saying now is umpires, and my son loves this saying, umpires are paid to tell lies. In all fairness, I think a lot of umpires should wear glasses because they can't see.
This podcast contains stories that may or may not have happened. If you're offended easily, here's your chance to run.
Welcome to the Knockabout podcast. My camera's told me to change it up on the show, so it's good to see you back, Cam. Obviously, bit of friction last week. Things weren't rosy, but we made up, and he's back on the show. So the show proudly sponsored by the Rules Pro. The way forward.
Sorry.
No, you're all good. I haven't introduced you yet. You just gotta give me five. Give me five, bloody umpires. All right. Love you. SP Cleaning Solutions. Contact Shanae and Garage 54. He's jumped on board. All right. I never thought I'd do this. All you viewers, you know how much I love umpires. Absolutely. Love him to bits, but this guy I'm going to introduce you tonight, he umpired 1,348 games, 400 games on the bench on the AFL. I never knew this. The first AFL steward that was suspended, and played 600 games in the FDFL, WRFL, and which is known as Western Region Netball League now due to names change. But my first guest on the show, and pleasure to have him on board, is young Allan Pascoe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Phil. I suppose you can ask for a free kick again.
I'll ask for a free kick, but first question I will ask you, Al. Obviously, you've had a bit of a health scare a while back. How's everything going?
Yeah, no, I got diagnosed 3 years ago with a bit of prostate cancer, which, unlike you, broke out and got into the system, and knocked me around for a couple of years now, but we seem to think we've got it under control, except, they're never going to cure it, they said. So I just go with the flow now, live for the day and see what it goes. And
beautiful.
But apart from that, if you're having trouble, make sure you get checked, mate, because you just never know.
No, there you go, viewers. Obviously, Al's gone through that, so get a check-up, most important, and it's good to see you. You've always been a tough man. You'll beat this. I've got no doubt you'll beat this. All right. So, Al, what we're going to do before we touch on your umpiring, obviously, I always believed you become an umpire if you're a shit footballer, but I don't think that was the case with you. Where did it all start? Obviously,
well, it all started when I was at Sunshine State School. A couple of mates that I went with played with Braybrook, and of course, me being a Bomber supporter, a red and black jumper,
suited you.
I wasn't going to play with those maggots that wore the Geelong jumpers. And so I went and spent my junior career up until like 1920 at Braybrook.
Okay, yeah.
And I played with some great players. I played with little Georgie Bissett.
Yep.
I told you he's going to get the dogs out of me.
I'm unleashing it.
I played with Ray Walker.
Yep.
Phil Crea. And we had a great coach by the name of Pappy Hansen. So, they were the good days. And then, because you're probably right, I was just a good ordinary winger that could run and nobody could catch. But I decided that I would join Sunshine.
Okay, yeah.
And then they, I had a year there, and then they had the breakup with Sunshine went to WFA, and so I went and joined Albion.
Yep.
So I had 3 seasons at Albion then, and then I had myself.
Here's my next coming in, Freddie Hunter. Take a seat there, Freddie. Take a seat, Freddie. This show is raw here, I'm telling you.
And then I found out what women's cigarettes and beer meant, so I got stuck into that and gave it away for a while. And
the good old women always get you. They know how.
yeah,
Always.
and of course, my job didn't sort of allow me to do much after that. So yeah. But then when I moved up into middle management, I was lucky enough to be able to go back and coach. So,
Oh, beautiful. So obviously, like I said, you played over 600 games, which is a fair effort itself. But 1,348 umpiring games. How did you actually get into umpiring?
1348 is all like playing footy, coaching, and the AFL gig and umpiring.
Yeah, still a fair effort. So how did you, how did you get into become a white maggot?
I'm sitting at home one night and the phone rings and it's my brother-in-law and he says, "You're umpiring tomorrow." And I said to him, "Where?" And he said, I put you down because I'd already coached at Deer Park. And he said, "I'll put you down." He said, "To umpire the kids tomorrow." They were looking for a club umpire. So, yeah, that's that. I had about 8 years there.
Okay, yep.
And then I was doing...
Were you paid well?
No, I didn't even get the Coke and sausage roll, mate.
And that was a deep...
No hot dog, no nothing.
And that was a Deer Park club?
They were a bit bloody mean, weren't they?
That was Deer Park club, the ones that...
Yeah, that's why they've got all that money now.
Oh, the brown paper bag. You missed out on the brown paper bag. I don't know if there's any money in that brown paper bag. Could be some greens in there, I reckon.
But I was approached by a fellow by the name of John Booker, you might know Booker.
I know John Booker, very, very tough umpire.
And he kept saying to me, "Where have you umpired?" And I said, "Nowhere." He said, "Well, why don't you come down to the WRFL and get paid for it?" I said, "No." I said, "Because their system was sort of like, if there's 100 umpires out there, you've got to make the top 20, right, to get into final series."
Okay,
right?
yeah.
I mean, and if you've got to finish in the top 2 or top 10 to work your way up to a Division 1 grand final.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
I had no hope of doing that.
Yeah.
So, well, that's what I thought anyway. So, I came off the ground after doing my little junior game, and there was another umpire out there which was rather big. And I looked at him and I thought, well, the ball's up here, and he's 50 metres down there. He's certainly looking up somebody's backside to see where the free kick's coming from. And I thought, kids deserve a little better than that.
So you're saying it wasn't
good enough?
Yeah,
I went down thinking I'd get a junior game, and anyway, the first game I got was with Graham Fields.
Yeah.
Up at Rockbank.
Very good answer, yeah, very good.
Yeah, up at Rockbank, and I remember that, and I also remember my first A-grade game was at Parkside and Sunshine, at Parkside, and I ran with Dean Patelli.
Okay, yeah.
Dean was a fairly good umpire, and they kept asking Dean why the old part, was bouncing the ball when he was throwing it up. But then he stopped us from bouncing the ball, and so that's the thing that's... I mean, think of the grounds that we used to bounce the ball on.
We've got some, I don't think the young generation don't realise those grounds were ordinary mud. You had muddy grounds. You had players losing their boots. The mud was that thick. So it's a great thing. But the league was lucky to have you out. Obviously, having that AFL experience, bringing it back into local footy.
When I was just sitting on the benches, the interchange, you get to watch the umpires. Yeah. And the good umpires aren't made, they're born, I'm telling You know,
Okay, yeah.
that's just me.
Yeah,
The way that I think that to have a good umpire, he's sort of got to have it in his blood that he wants to do it, and he wants to do it well.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well see what these blokes do. You know? In the meantime, I'm watching blokes like Peter Cameron, Ian Robinson.
So fair umpires there.
Yeah, my mate Matty James. So it was sort of like, well, Glenn James.
Glenn James. What was he like as a bloke? Obviously, first Aboriginal.
As a person. Oh, look, he sort of, when each game that I had him, he had more wit in him than anybody.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember Cameron one day saying to him, "Get all in your jocks, mate." And Camo came back with, well, the shit's got to go somewhere.
Yeah. And for our viewers that don't realise, Glenn James will be the first Aboriginal umpire.
Yes,
he was.
Brilliant umpire.
Yeah.
Took no muck, and but also quite gave it back.
Which a lot of umpires in our day or back then you can.
Well, people look. I decided from the start that if I did get, want to do it, I'd do it right. And if somebody said to me, what was the free kick for, and I didn't have control of the game, I'd try and explain it, right? But if you come up and get in my face, you get told to rack off. It's like, if somebody says it's my free kick, well, here's an incident, right? And I really thought he was your brother.
Oh, bullshit.
This one, right from the first bounce, the ball at a team that wears red, white and blue. No, red and white these days, I think.
Red and white.
And he bounces up and the ball, he jumps up and he says, "You won't be able to pay the free kick to me because I'm black."
Oh,
and I looked at him and he says, "White is what I am, I think we should have called him snowflake."
Was that Westwood's great?
Yeah, did your mum watch the rest? Do you want to be white? Go jump in the bathtub full of bloody snowflakes. And and this went on till half time, and I'm walking off the ground, and he says, "You still won't pay me those free kicks because I'm black." So I thought, I'll get this bloke. So I go into the rooms, and I'm sitting there, and I said, "Yeah, no, that's it, bugger it, I've had him." So I go and I grab the coach. I said, "Can you grab your player? And I want to talk to him and you." So he gets it. He says, "What's wrong?" I said, I'll talk to you a sec. So anyway, he brings him over and I said, "Look, I'm sick of you calling that I won't pay you a free kick because you're black.
Yeah.
You don't understand, mate. I'm part Aboriginal." Right?
True story?
Well, that's his true story.
Oh, well, no.
Right? So anyway, I'm thinking the first ball down, jumps in again, he hits the deck, he gets up, and he doesn't say a word. But the rest of the game, he's not said a bloody word.
Yeah.
So we're walking off the end of the game, and he said, "Look, I'm terribly sorry to call you Aboriginal. It's not so you're Aboriginality, whatever you want."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm not Aboriginal." And he said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You told me." Well, yeah. I said, "But it shut you up, didn't it?"
You told your part, but you're not Abba, you're the best.
Yeah, I'm a police of Washington.
Well, amazing you say that, because I always thought you never paid a free kick because I was a wog.
Oh,
Honestly,
I'll tell you why you have got free kicks.
Well,
hang on.
Okay.
In the end, I called them Whinging Vale, right? Not Wyndham Vale, Whinging
Oh,
Vale.
the old Wincham Vale.
Yeah, because of you.
What? Because of me?
I get my umpiring sheet on the Thursday night of train. I read, "Oh, you got Whinging Vale." Geez, I'm going to have nightmares because I've got to put up with you. The ball gets kicked out from the first bounce towards the grandstand and then bang down to the south end. This is the old ground.
The old ground, yeah.
The ball's up in the air. Everybody's going for it. Where's Bill? He's about 30 metres behind everybody, but all of a sudden he jumps up, bang, and the ball goes to the ground. I've got to play. So I blow the whistle running, and Phil says, He's got the ball, he's going back. I said, where are you going? That's a free kick. He said, I got pushed in the back. Just give me the ball, man.
Well, I tried.
That was the start of it. That must have been the first one. But for the rest of the day, my poor umpire that I was running with thought, who is this bloke?
He's turned on the cameraman behind it. But in all fairness,
I mean, look, good ordinary
so you're not listening to me again.
He's the champion, but good ordinary football. The only way he got his kicks was free kicks. He wins so much. The umpires,
Actually, viewers, you know what I actually love, right? I've tried to speak to him for the last 5 minutes. He hasn't heard a word I said, and that's what he was like in.
Because I'm deaf.
You were deaf during the games. Don't worry about that. But what I did love about you, Al, you copped it, but you're a good sport about it. Obviously, and like you said, if there's a free kick, you tried to explain why. Never made sense to me.
Well, that's because I didn't understand the rules.
Probably because I was a wog too. I didn't understand. No, I know. I'm just joking. You know that, Al. But so, like I said,
you have to have a yellow crest because you're such a bloody cocky.
No. But in all fairness, Al, you know what? You've been an absolute legend for the league. Absolutely one of the best umpires I can recall.
Here we go.
Look, I had two umpires that just hated me.
Yeah, I was one of them.
No. I'll give you credit. What I did like about you, Al, right? I'll talk to you before the game, try to be nice and say, look, there's a free kick there. You say, yeah, no worries, Phil. You walk off and you say, fuck you. I've got no doubt you said that. But there's two umpires that absolutely hated me.
Who?
First one, you did mention his first name, Terry O'Neill.
Oh, well, yeah.
Terry absolutely hated me.
No, you only thought that.
No, but Terry, and I'll give Terry credit, after I finished playing football, Terry actually is a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
Even though it cost me my under-14s grand final, and the camera was part of it, 42 free kicks to 13 we counted.
You couldn't count that.
No, I didn't count it. I wanted the parents counted, but my cameraman was part of that, so he can vouch for me there.
This is how bad he was.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm not joking. You'd go in. I always decided that when I got to the ground, I got the team sheet, so I'd go in and shake their hands so that I'd get to know blokes, right? So I feel everybody. So I get to know their names so that when, instead of saying, your free kick, Winge and Vale, it's not your free kick, Phil. It's their free kick. No? So to do that was to get to know people. So that when the next time you go to the club and you look down and you say, oh, Jesus, he's on the bloody list, you try not to go in. But I did. I always went in and said hello.
Always. Yeah, always.
Didn't listen to the bullshit that they wanted to give me, like, you'll pay me a free kick, it's there, won't it? But he was never in position for the free kicks. He would either be last in line for the mark or he'd be last on the bottom, right? And every time it's a free kick.
Waiting for a cheap kick.
Why don't you give me a free kick? And I'm in the middle of the ground one day and he says, what was that free kick for? I said, I didn't pay a free kick. He said, well, the other bloke did. I said, well, you go and ask him what it's all about, But no, he'd stand there and whinge and moan.
I never forget one day I was having an absolute stinker of a day and was turning on the whole world. And I did say to you, I said to you, Al, you're having a bad day, and you did turn around to me as I might be having a bad day, but you're having a worse day than that.
Never. And do you know why? Because I never reversed any free kicks. So I
because they can't see. But anyway, like I said, you're an absolute legend.
the class comes to the top.
It does. One quick question I will say before. What do you think of the standard of umpires these days?
Well, today?
Today's, yeah. Yeah, let them have it, Al. Let them have it.
No,
honest opinion. I mean, that's...
if Look, I haven't been to an AFL game since I got out from the AFL.
Yeah.
I have not wanted to go because things that happened with me and the hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
But I look at the 4 umpire system and I think maybe there's too many out there. You've got to have 4 brains that are incognito with one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the same page, same free kick. If I pay that free kick to start the game, I've got to pay it all day, whether it was right or wrong.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Makes
Right.
sense. Yep.
So if I think, well, yeah, I think one day I said to one fella, oh, geez, I screwed that up, didn't I? And he said, yeah. And he looked at me and said, what do you mean? I said, that free kick. He said, no, it's you. He said, nobody's ever said that before. And I just think there's too many minds or too many brains and too many people outside the game influence the umpire system. Now, it's pretty difficult, I guess, to get 4 people on side.
Yeah.
You know, one bloke might see it this way, the other bloke might see it the other way. 3 umpire system in the WRFL is probably the better system.
Okay. Yeah.
Because when you look at if you look at the AFL now, most of the umpiring is sort of done from outside the boundary line.
It is too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I always wondered why they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like one bloke pays the mark and another bloke runs out here and a third bloke runs out here and there's one bloke up here somewhere, right? I think that's how it works. But, you know, are they in the right positions?
Yeah. So virtually what you're saying is the umpires are in trouble at the moment.
Well, because they're hanging on to them longer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you've got your Brett Roseberries and I like Brett as an umpire.
That's right. Yeah.
You got your Matt Stevicks.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
You know, I haven't shot holes in my television at him yet, so you know, but you sort of get the impression as a supporter that when you see the free kick count, oh, hang on, are these, you know, the free kicks might be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they should be there.
Yeah.
Have they got it in for Essendon? Have they got it in for
yeah.
so-and-so? Do Collingwood and Hawthorn get good runs? Do the interstate teams get good runs? You know, and it's sort of, when I was doing the,
So what you are saying now is umpires, and my son loves this saying, umpires are paid to tell lies.
No. The umpire thinks he's got it right.
Yeah.
It's the media, right? The media that seem to have too much to say. They can bring a bloke down, they can bring a player down, and they can bring an umpire down.
Yeah.
Why? Because of their interpretations.
Yeah. You know the thing that irritates me? Like I said, umpires a big part of the game, but every week you watch the AFL, the rules seem to change every week. It's frustrating as a spectator. I mean, one week you got they're red hot on the ball.
Yep.
The next week you got 5 minutes to get rid of it.
But that's what I'm saying. Are the umpires on the
same page in that same?
You know,
yeah.
I mean, you can look at that at the Western Region Footy League. The same thing. Are they on the same
page?
I mean, I've seen in the grand final, the bloke 40 metres out got coat hanging. Right? If he's paid the free kick, that team wins the grand final.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because it wasn't paid, right, the umpire's called play on, and they lose.
Yeah. What grand final was that, Al? If you recall?
One of the bloke that had the footy with his head nearly torn off was my grandson.
Oh, there you go. There.
But I was in that.
So we're talking about
on that part of the ground where it actually happened, and we could see it. Everybody just shook their head.
So if people don't know. I've got a couple of kids playing in the league. One at the Suns and one at Werribee, I believe.
I've got one at the Suns.
Suns, yes.
I've got one at Werribee.
Young Joel and young Jordan. Is it
different footballs?
Yes.
Different footballs. Jordan's probably just a smidgen better than Joel.
Yeah.
Seen Joel.
Yeah, I've spoken with Joel. Yeah.
I pushed Jordan to kick both feet. I mean, totally pushed him.
Okay. Yeah.
because I could see his ability. Joel's lightly framed.
Yeah.
I tried to get him in on the boundary. It was when I was the boundary, 2009. The state champions were here in Melbourne.
Okay, yeah.
And I was the head umpires coach for that. That's a schoolboys comp sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Two great lads. All right, now before we let you go,
yes.
just quickly we've got to ask you 5 questions with the Messiah. Yeah, that's a fair name, isn't it, the Messiah? Look, he's just fallen off his seat.
I just wondered how good you've been telling your kids you were. Hope your kids see this.
Well, I
what it was like.
thought it was a fair football. It would have been even better kicking more goals if you gave me 3 kicks.
Oh,
That's another story.
You didn't deserve it.
Fair enough. All right. Young Al, favourite food?
Favourite food?
Oh, he's thinking now. Good Aussie roast.
My favourite food used to be pasta on Friday night and Saturday morning.
There you go, pasta. Being a good Italian boy, I know where you're coming from. All right. Now you're retired. How long's it been since you retired from the umpiring fraternity
I
now?
was 75 when I did my last game. So I'll be 85 December, so 10 years.
Fuck, if I look like that at 85, I'll be happy. I don't think I'll be looking like that at 85. All right. What hobbies have you got now since you retired?
What hobbies?
Be nice. It's a clean family show, this one, right?
I have a coin collection.
Coin collection. Tell me where it is.
It dates back to 1793.
Oh, what the hell? Hey, since when you said that, all I can see is dollar signs.
And the current stuff that's coming out, all this new stuff. Yeah. But I do have a coin that was my mother's first home when she came out from England was Government House. And in 1927, when they moved the Parliament from Melbourne to Canberra, because my grandmother was the cook,
okay, yeah.
they took them to Canberra for the opening, and they were presented with a pen.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so that I've had one of those, and then I found one at Deer Park Footy Ground in the mud. I just went down and picked up this coin, and it's a 1927 coin.
See, they didn't pay you, but the coin made up for it. See,
Yeah,
they got karma back then.
Maybe that was a line of coins. You know?
Just don't tell the viewers where you live, all right? Because they sound like valuable coins. Actually, you can tell me after where you live. All right, favourite movie, young Al?
Oh, favourite movie.
Now, remember, we've got a young audience. None of this John Wayne, Clint Eastwood.
No. I love Shrek.
Shrek. Oh, there you go.
Watch Shrek and Shrek and Shrek and Shrek and Shrek.
Great show. Yeah, actually, my grandkids love that show.
I don't mind either a good Western or a good war movie.
Yeah.
But Shrek is probably one that I've watched. It reminded me of you because you wore green.
Green. You know my favourite movie?
What?
Debbie Does Dollars. But that's for another week.
It's a bloody porno.
It is a porno. But anyway, all right, now this is.
I know I didn't pay the
Yes. Well,
he used to dye his hair blonde, and I used to think it was queer.
Hey, don't worry, a lot of people still think I'm queer. All right, now this could be a tricky question. You've been part of the league a long time. Best footballer you've seen in the league since you've been involved? Umpiring, playing.
The best footballer.
Ooh, a hard one, isn't it?
It is a very hard one. You could say Piercy at Braybrook because of his goal kicking prowess.
Very good.
I didn't mind Corey from Winchimale.
Very good footballer.
Yeah. Now, if you hadn't been such a bloody whinger, you might have finished in my top 10.
Oh, well, there you go. Hey, to my kids, they don't believe me, but there's an umpire in the league. I would have said top 5, but you can top 10.
I thought Evo Evans was fairly good.
Yes, Evo was too fat. Too fat.
No. Well,
It was way overweight.
and there was, I don't know why I'm thinking Winchimale because you were there, was the ruckman. It was very, very solid ruckman there was.
Okay.
The best player that I've seen, does that mean in my time as umpire or my time as playing?
Playing, umpiring, whoever you think.
It's the time.
I'm a bit happy you got me in the top 10. I'm happy with that
You
one.
know,
It's a bit...
probably, got to play him up. I've got a feeling from the second goes bang, you know. Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh,
Because, I mean, I played with Ray Walker.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
He played for Victoria. He was a great footballer, and so was Georgie Bissett. Georgie Bissett was a great bit of football.
Very
I was to consider $5,000, and he left Footscray to go to Collingwood. $5,000.
5 man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money back then, but nah, Georgie Business was a good one. I always thought,
you know, it's a hard question.
yeah.
You know, it's.
There's been a lot of good footballers. I look at know
There
myself.
was a bloke by the name of Borg who played at Auburn.
Okay. Yeah.
Forgy, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, so it's sort of
How about Dean Formoso?
eh?
What do you think of Dean Formoso as a footballer?
He was too. He was a great junior.
Oh no, he's gonna love you pumping him up, Dean Formoso. Dean, I know you're watching this show.
Yeah.
Very good junior footballer, I think.
Oh, great. Yeah, great. Yeah. I thought he was. Yeah, he played at St Albans, didn't he?
Yeah, and then went the whole way. All right, the last question now. I can't answer this question. I've been married 4 times. So obviously, you've been married 60 years. What's the key to a good marriage and a successful one? Don't say in the bedroom, because I've tried that, it doesn't work.
You can say.
Here we go.
Well, it's not only watching it, but you could say it's the goods and the bads.
Yeah.
There's the good times and there's the bad times.
Yeah.
Now, if you get through the bad times, they become the good times. And if you have an understanding of probably a bit of empathy comes into it.
Well, I haven't got that.
I know. Have you got any free kicks for
No, I haven't got that.
Do you put yourself in their position and see how they feel? You've got to, you know.
Actually, that makes sense because it's all about me. It's all about me. So you think that's where I've gone wrong.
You can say, if we used a bit of empathy on you,
Yeah.
you might have been a better footballer.
Yeah, good point.
And I may have been a better umpire because it's me putting myself in your position of how I would feel.
Yeah.
Right?
And I did.
And that's why a lot of the times that I went into rooms, I always said, if you're going to ask me what a free kick's for, wait till I haven't got control.
Yeah, fair point.
And then I'll answer because I can't focus on that game while I've got a woodpecker in the ear.
Yeah.
I don't know if Phil Crea.
Yeah. So you're saying the key to a happy marriage is empathy.
Well, empathy and love, mate. You've got to love somebody, you know. I mean, there's days that I hate it, but, you know. No, but it's, she's put up with a hell of a lot, and it's, I don't know, it's just, whether it's companionship or compatibility or, it's there, we've done 60 years, so.
That's fair enough. You're an absolute legend of our league. One of the best umpires going around, and obviously we've got a bit of we're still under a budget at the moment, and obviously I wanted to get you some old man pads, but they ran out of them, so I've had to give you a couple of toilet rolls.
Well, that's good, mate.
Thanks for being on the show, and I see you've got a present for me, have you?
Well, hang on. Seeing I never made the AFL as an umpire.
Yep.
And you wanted to be an umpire.
I did want to be an umpire.
There's a top for you, and the reason I give you the red one is because it's for danger. Look out, here comes Phil.
There you go, viewers. There you go. That's my next challenge to be an umpire.
And this one.
Oh, we've got 2 of them. He's pulling them out.
This one here is the last time that I umpired a game of footy, in white.
Wow.
And that is white because you had to give up in the end because I got too smart for you.
You got this. Well, there you
So
go.
there you go. You can put them up on the wall or you can hang them up.
Al, you're an absolute legend. We'll put them up on the wall.
So the next time you want to go somewhere and you want to think you want to be an umpire, I tried to find a whistle for you too, but I thought, no, geez, I'll give you a whistle.
100%. Well, we've got, Al, like I said, it's an absolute honour to have you here tonight on the podcast. Thanks for coming in, obviously.
And thanks for
the toilet paper. Just make sure you wipe that ass of yours. And Al, like I said, you're an absolute legend of the league. True gentleman.
Better blokes
you know,
there.
what we've got up here, Al, every guest that comes to sign their name on the wall. To the viewers, Al, thanks very much.
It's an honour and a pleasure. But,
you still get going.
You were still shit.
Al, you're not umpiring now, Al, but
free kick.
to all the viewers, to Al, enjoy your night, and we'll see you next week.